on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app.
O'Connor and Company.
It's 8:36 on O'Connor and Company. Sitting over there is Patrice Onwuka. She's a little bit country, that Patrice Onwuka, and I'm a little bit rock and roll.
There you go. You're a little bit black. I'm a little bit white. Is that how it goes?
No, that's not what I was. What? Why is everything race with you?
I'm just bringing it full circle to the way we began our today's show.
Joining us now is Byron York. We did a lot of DEI discussion earlier.
Yeah.
Let's move to politics now with Byron York. He's the host of the Byron York Show podcast. Hey, what do you podcast? York, stay in your lane, pal. I don't need this competition.
Hey, there's room for more than one podcast.
I suppose so. He, of course, is the Washington Examiner. There's so much to get to. You've done a deep dive into the Trump legal team's appeal on the Colorado decision. What is their direction here in terms of how they're trying to fight against this creative interpretation of the 14th Amendment?
Well, actually, they're going in every direction, which is actually pretty fascinating. There's a lot of, given the fact that the Colorado Supreme Court has made this decision and the Secretary of State of Maine has made this decision, there's a bunch of different ways to go with this. And in their brief, they had to file a brief appealing this to the Supreme Court because the Colorado Supreme Court said today was the deadline for the Republican ballot in Colorado. And the Colorado Supreme Court said, well, unless Trump files an appeal with the Supreme Court, his name's going to be off the ballot. Mm-hmm. So obviously Trump filed a brief with the Supreme Court. And they're going at it in a number of ways. One, they're saying that the framers of the 14th Amendment did not intend for it to apply to the president. By the 14th Amendment, we mean Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, the whole insurrection thing. Yeah. They're saying they didn't mean it to apply. There's this arcane argument about what an officer of the United States is. An officer of the United States is a phrase that's in the Constitution. And the question is the president one or is he not one? And you think, well, of course he's one. I mean, the presidency is the highest office in the land. He's an officer of the United States. Well, there's actually a real debate about that. Then there's a question of whether January 6th was an insurrection, which they don't agree with. I don't agree with either. And then there's the question of whether, if it was an insurrection, whether Trump, quote, engaged in insurrection by the things he did that day. So those are the things that the Colorado Supreme Court affirmed, that Trump was an officer of the United States, it was an insurrection, and Trump engaged in insurrection. So the Colorado Supreme Court has said yes to all of those things, and those are the things now before the Supreme Court.
Well, we're looking forward to what happens, how the Supreme Court comes down. But sticking with politics, I'd love to get your read on Nikki Haley. We played some clips from her, both from last night as well as some other clips.
Oh, wait, let's play this. This is my favorite, real fast.
Yeah. We have an opportunity to get this right. And I know we'll get it right. And I trust you. I trust every single one of you. You know how to do this. You know Iowa starts it. You know that you correct it. You know that you continue to go.
Wow.
Yeah, so she's pretty much demeaning some voters. She thinks she's going to get New Hampshire, and she's throwing Iowa under the bus. What do you make of that? And also, she still isn't able to get the what caused the Civil War question right either.
Yeah, I know she's still struggling with that one. The Iowa, her Iowa remark was really regarded as a big gaffe in Iowa because basically she's saying, those poor dumb Iowans, they always get it wrong. And you smart folks here in New Hampshire, you're going to get it right. You're going to correct what they do. And then she said her state of South Carolina is going to bring it home. Like, she's going to win South Carolina. So, one, it was kind of offensive to Iowa. Now, in her defense, I will say one thing. The winner of the Iowa caucuses has not gone on for a long time to win the Republican nomination, much less the presidency. In 2008, Mike Huckabee won the Iowa caucuses. He did not become the nominee. In 2012, Rick Santorum won the caucuses, and he did not become the nominee. In 2016, the year Trump was in, Ted Cruz won the Iowa caucuses. So Iowa has not had a great record of producing nominees. New Hampshire's is a bit better.
Yeah.
But the fact is, the first voting really kind of affects things and sets the tone. And I do think there is kind of a bit of a reaction effect that goes on in New Hampshire after Iowa chooses. And what you're seeing is Haley is now, she's got so much money now. She's got a lot of donations.
Yeah.
And she's buying television ads to attack DeSantis in Iowa, where she doesn't have a great chance. And then she's spending all of her time, as you just heard. She was in New Hampshire when she said what you just played.
Mm-hmm.
So she's spending a huge amount of time thinking she's got the big chance in New Hampshire.
Byron York's our guest, Washington Examiner. And Byron, over the last 12 months, Donald Trump has been inundated with over 90 charges, 4 different jurisdictions, including charges by a special prosecutor, Jack Smith, at the federal level for crimes that were originally put on the books for the Ku Klux Klan, as you know, for the insurrection case. Of course, they didn't charge him with insurrection. Plus, the Espionage Act was employed over the documents case. I mean, really, like unbelievable. And through it all, and going through the primary, not participating in the debates, being attacked by all the other Republican nominees, he is currently leading Joe Biden by over 2 points in the Real Clear Politics average. After all of that, he is leading him nationally. Is it panic time for the Democrats right now?
Well, I think that they look at everything you just said, all these weights around Trump's ankles, and he's still ahead of Biden. They think, oh my God, what about our candidate, Joe Biden? Look, Biden has a number of unfixable problems with his candidacy. The biggest one, of course, is that he's 81. He's going to be 82 starting a second term. And majorities of Americans, including of his own party, think he's too old for a second term. That is not going to be fixed.
Yeah.
And Democrats have just decided they have cast their lot with that. And clearly, the American people disapprove of virtually everything Joe Biden has done, most especially his handling of the economy, but also of the border, of the crime, even of foreign affairs, and even in traditional Democratic strengths like healthcare and education. His job approval rating is much lower than a Democrat's should be. We've seen he's not doing well with young voters. He is not doing well with Hispanic voters. He's not doing well with black voters. Now, he's still winning, like with black voters, but not by the margins that previous Democrats have done. Look, they're kind of in panic mode, but it's kind of too late. They have cast their lot now, and they're with Joe Biden.
Byron York, Washington Examiner. He's one of the best. We love having him part of the conversation, especially in an election year.
Absolutely.
And you're right. I mean, listen, Joe Biden's going to be 82, but can we agree it's an old 82?
Yeah.
It's thank you, Byron.
Thanks, Byron.
It's 8:45.